In this video, I want to show you the new version of Interact, which is really called Highlights within Hapara. And you notice at the very top of the screen, it's now saying Highlights. So when you log into Highlights and click on that, you're going to see some new features. First off is over to the right, when you see this little person, I can actually click on that to see what students may be having difficulty logging into their machine or whatever possible problems they may be having. If I click on this, the students that are logged in are going to go to the bottom, and any students that are having a difficulty are going to be funneled to the top, which makes it easier for you to diagnose problems. The other items here, open a tab within a class, group, or individual students is the same, except for some new features which I'll show you, and these two buttons as well are basically the same. I want to show you the browser tabs, which if you look here we have 4 new words: Activity Viewer, Browser Tabs, Current Screens, and Snaps. Under browser tabs, you're used to seeing whatever tabs they have open. If I wanted to open up a tab for the students, I would normally come over and click on the link, and right here in this URL I would enter what link I want the students to go to. But I have some options. If you look here to the left, I can share with the entire class, I can share with a group within that class, or I can share with individual students. So let's say I want the students to go to CNN. And since I only have these 2 logged in, it's going to show me if I want to individually log students in, it would show my whole class if they're all logged in, or just the students, in this case, that I want to, which is these 2 students. I'm going to open those tabs for them. So I select those students, I come over to the right, and I click Open Tabs. Now when I do that, it's going to open those tabs, and what I have the refresh rate for you is to see roughly every 5 seconds, it's going to refresh the page to see what's showing for the students. And I think I had a page already open here for the student, therefore that's why it's showing twice. I'm going to close it on the student side. So you're only seeing 2. But this refreshes every 5 seconds. If you want to refresh that sooner, if that's not enough, here's the refresh button for you, and as soon as you click on that, it's going to refresh your page with what's going on. That's great. That's pretty much the same as what was before. The new thing is this tab or button right here, which says focused student browsing to certain sites or pages. If I click on that, and I'm going to close these pages on those students' machines, but this time I want to focus their browsing for a limited amount of time. I can focus the browsing to a specific site or several sites, and I have a time frame. If you notice the time frame here, it starts at 5 minutes. These are the presets. The default setting is 15 minutes. I'm only going to want to go for 5 minutes, and I'm going to go to CNN. Now this time, since I'm going to focus the browsing for 5 minutes, when I click on Open Tabs, watch what happens. It now says basically you're going to focus the browsing for 5 minutes, and all other tabs are going to close. At this point, the student gets a message at the bottom of their machine that says Highlights has basically been activated for a focused browsing session from your teacher. All sessions are going to close, and it's going to specifically go and move that student out to whatever I want them to do. And now you can see within a few seconds it's pushing whatever I wanted, in this case CNN. And if you notice, this is now this focus browsing button shows up. I can now release individual students so they're not stuck on that. If I notice that certain students they've got what I want them to do and I can have them move on, I could just hit here and click release. Or if I want to release the whole class, I can just basically come here where it says close tabs. And when I do that, it basically closes the focus tabs that I had them going to and goes back to the tabs that they had open prior to me focusing their tabs. And if you notice right here, as it's refreshing, it's going to refresh and go back to the Warrior Run website is where I had them. And therefore, they're basically back to where they were. It's a nice way for you to keep them focused on what you want them to focus on and not do anything else. In addition to, we also have the activity viewer, which is right here. If I click on that, I can see what the students have been basically doing. Currently, we're on the Warrior Run page. Previously, I had them go to the CNN page. There's collaboration if they're working in some type of collaborative nature, and you can see those views as well. Current screens. If I click on that current screens, it actually shows me, I refresh this because I was on a different page, it's going to go out, it's going to refresh, and I think they're both on the Warrior Run page right now, and I think this will update in a second. And there it is. And now you can see this is currently what is showing on the two individual devices that these students are logged into. If I pushed out CNN just so you can see, and I said open those tabs, I'm not going to put any restrictions, I just want to open another tab. Right here we're going to see that tab open for both of those students. And once it does, I'm going to go ahead, because it updates roughly every 5 seconds. There's the tabs, and if I go to current screens, there's the current screens they're showing for the students as well. So you can see that this new version of highlights has some nice features. It does updating pretty quickly within 5 seconds. You can do your own updating if necessary, and you have a bunch of control. You also have snaps. These are basically snapshots that you may take and store. And if you had any snapshots currently in place for the class, they would show here. I have not done any, but that's where they would show. I hope this makes sense. I hope that you'll like these new features that will give you more control and access to what is happening on student machines. Please let me know what you think. Thank you.